Okay, welcome everyone. We are going to do a sound check for the Google Classroom intro webinar. So just hang tight. And this was the voice sound check, and now I will do a video sound check for the sound. And we should be back, so I'm just checking the sound one more time. And we'll be back.
Sounds good. Do you know the
Hi, and welcome to the Google Classroom webinar. My name is Larissa Uceda, and Rosie Castle is here also. So we're at Central Office broadcasting to all of you, and we're excited that you took the time during your summer to take this class. We have a small group today, this morning. We have a bigger group in the afternoon, so just to let you know. So the first thing we're going to do is watch a short video about Google Classroom. Everything in the video we'll talk about today. So this just sit back and listen to the music and see some of the things that we'll talk about. And then we'll get started after this. Okay, that was a promo from about this time last year. And Google Classroom was about to come out. So it came out in about October of last year. So it is relatively new. So you're jumping on the cutting technology. So welcome everyone. Again, my name's Larissa Uceda, and I'm going to be going through the webinar, and I'm here with Rosie Castle.
Hi, everyone. And we just want to make sure that everyone has had a chance to open up the webinar Q&A. And it is in the link. It's called Webinar Q&A, and it is above the window where you had to click play. And I'm not sure if everyone's had a chance to open up that link yet.
Now, if that's where you can go ahead and in the Q&A, that's kind of our feedback with you, or your involvement in the webinar. You can start out by just saying hello and your school, and see how we're just writing right in the title. You can go ahead and do that. And just so you know, to see the current Q&A, you do have to click on the Q&A, and if you're on a PC, like your district PC, hit F5 to refresh. Okay, so we'll let you log in. Now, if you can't get the Q&A working, please don't stress. You can text your feedback or email it to Rosie Castle, and that number is above in the blue box. Okay, good. So it looks like a lot of you are in the Q&A and have posted. Perfect. And if you have both windows open side by side, you can listen and then kind of multitask at the same time, read and type in the discussion board. So let's get started. First, a little background. So last year, the district jumped right into a big Chromebook initiative. Many of you have Chromebooks at your school. Probably about 15 schools started last year, and there are more over the summer. You do not need to use Chromebooks to use Google Classroom, but this is how it started. To use the Chromebook, you do need a Google account. So Google accounts were created for every district student and teacher. Actually, everyone in the whole district, anyone in the school has an account. Okay, so that's what we're using today, is that account. It doesn't really matter what device you're using, although it works really nicely on a Chromebook for your students. So, okay, we talked about this Google account. If you haven't used it yet, or if you really haven't thought about it this summer, your account is your ID at RCSD 121 or 121.org. The thought is our goal in this district is one device per student, 1-to-1. So that is what we would be working towards in a long-term goal. Okay, so that's your teacher logon. You'll need that, not today, but later when you log into Google Classroom. Your students all have Google accounts. They may not have used it yet. It's their full ID at the same at rcsd121.org. The day before school starts, all student passwords are reset to their birthday, 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 4-digit year. If you're at high school, students are very used to changing their password. That password changes for their Google account. So they'll have one password when they log on to their district account, to a district computer, and they change it. Otherwise, if they're on a Chromebook, they can just use this password, that default password. Good. Okay, so what is Google Classroom? Let's talk first about what it is and what it isn't. Google Classroom is a tool for teachers to assign and collect work. So it's an online learning management system. It organizes the assignments and and you can communicate with students. What's nice is it manages all the document sharing, the file naming, and the organization, which is huge. You know, we've seen some of our desktops, right, with all the files, and our students, their naming conventions are quite interesting. So it manages all that file naming and sharing, and we'll show you as we get into it more what that means. It's a place, one-stop shopping, ease of use. If your student is absent, you're not pulling things that you did and making copies. It's all right there in Google Classroom Assignment. And it definitely simplifies and automates the workflow for you. So it's actually doing a lot of the work for you. Rosie, you want to jump in?
All the things that Larissa said so far are exactly true. And what we like about Google Classroom is it simplifies your life as the teacher. And so keep that in mind whenever she's going through that, is that all that paper shuffling, all those things that we're doing and taking those papers back and forth with our students, that's what Google Classroom is doing for you.
Perfect, thanks. Okay. So this might not be you, but you might be correcting papers on your iPhone or your iPad or your computer. So now let's talk about what Google Classroom is not. It is not a grade book, okay? You can put grades in, but it is not synced to PowerTeacher. It is not a robust learning management system, okay? It is we like to call it a light, or I'm sorry, it is not a student management system. All right, we have that in the district. This is not taking place of PowerSchool. It is not a robust learning management system. I got ahead of myself. We like to call it a light learning management system. There are things that you can't do in Google Classroom. But it does have, there is a lot of ease of use, and it works well on various devices. It is designed to work along with PowerSchool Parent Connect. It does not replace any of these. Okay, so we like to start out and show you the different options. So first, our first option is, as a teacher, you do not use Google Classroom. You just use the Google accounts and the Google environment, Google Apps. So students would create a Google Doc or presentation and then share it with the teacher. The teacher gets that Gmail, that alert that something's been shared with you on your Gmail account. And you can open it, comment on it, and print the student work. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go to Joe Student. He can open the Google Drive from anywhere where you see this icon. So he goes to his Google Drive, and under New is where a student would create a Google Doc or Google Slides. So I'm gonna create a Google Doc. Now, watch the steps that the student has to do. First thing, he needs to rename the document just by clicking on here. School goals, and then Joe put his name. Okay, and it's important that students do that naming convention with their files. Then Joe Student goals. Okay, they start writing their document. The student can come back at any time. When they're ready to share it, this blue button, they're going to click on share and then enter the teacher's name. So I'm going to put USADA, and you can see that account that has my ID. And I'm going to click on it and send. So that's sharing it with the student, with the teacher. Okay, so that's the first way that a student, you can work with the Google environment with your students. In the beginning, that may be a good way to start. As you get going, you're going to get a lot of files. So you may move in, or you may just jump right into Google Classroom. But we want to make sure you're aware of all the options. So in Google Classroom, a teacher creates an announcement or assignment, and then the students create or use attached documents and then turn it into their teacher through the Google Classroom site. So they're going to that Google Classroom looking at the assignment. The teacher can view, grade, and return work and comment on work. There's a third option, and this is an e-learning classroom. So you're in an e-learning class, an online PD, but teachers can create coursework in e-learning. There is a 6-hour class that you can take creating your virtual class, and then you will get your own domain and you can create assignments in e-learning for your class. There are many more options for customizing your class. Okay, students are going to get the content, assignments, submit work, and post to discussions. Okay, so those are your 3 options. Now, we're going to jump in and take a look at the student view of Google Classroom. So you don't have to do this now, but in 5 minutes or when we're done, we're going to ask you what you notice or wonder about the student view. So you can be ready to, when we're done, just post to that Q&A. Okay. Okay, so I'm a student. I'm going to click on that home button on a Chromebook, and I can click on this icon for Google Classroom to get to Google Classroom. The first time a student logs on to Google Classroom, I don't have it here, but they're going to have to scroll down or choose their role as a student. And we have a video in the online class explaining this. And once you invite a student, they'll be able to join your class. So they'll get something like this. But I'm just going to click right on the name, and we're a student in this classroom. Okay, so here we are in the stream, and it's kind of like Facebook, more social media. You can scroll down. The newest assignment is at the top. So I can see right here there's an assignment, and I can open it up and go through it. I'm going to go down. There's a lot of assignments. Some I've returned. Some are late. There are also announcements from my teacher. And so here's an announcement. It has a link, and the student can click on the link, and you can put something, either it's a great way to get them links, or you could have them do something like this was to answer the question in your journal. The thing to remember about an announcement is the student doesn't have to turn anything in. It's a way for you as the teacher to get them information or links, and then they may do it on a worksheet. Okay, here's one that the students go to BrainPop. So they would click on BrainPop, log in, and watch the video. See how it opens in a different window. Then when they come back, okay, complete the handout in the Video Center. Now you can notice that students can leave comments under an assignment.
So I guess this would be a good way that if you did want some student feedback on a topic, they could leave feedback and leave a comment, and that would be them giving you some sort of understanding, showing some sort of understanding, or giving their opinion about something, but not having to actually turn something in.
Right, perfect. So that could be the ticket out the door. Now, be aware though, if your comments are on, that the minute students come in, they'll start commenting on announcements. So it has to be prepped. And we'll show you how you can turn that off later. You can give students this option to comment, or you can turn it on when you choose.
So that's really nice to have that feature where you can turn it on and turn it off.
I think that's how I would work with it.
Yeah.
As a student, when I do a comment, there are these 3 dots here, and I can delete my comment. Okay, so that was an announcement. We talked about comments, and the next thing was an assignment. So I'm going to go to the top, Sorry for the scrolling. I like that it's nice to give the student an assignment and number it so it's easier for them to find. So as a student, I'm going to click on the assignment because it's important to show them that they have two tabs. The first tab is the instructions. So I can write an argument to support claims. That's the learning target. State an object that best represents you. A phone, electrical outlet, and then support your claim with reasoning. Okay. Open a document, type your paragraph, turn it in. So the first tab is the instructions, then students will go over to your work. And from here, the assignment said to create a document. So I can click create document. Remember, I'm Joe. And it's working to create. And look at this. It created a Google Doc and put it right in here. And now as a student, I can click on it. It's going to open it in a new tab. And it's already shared with the teacher when they turn it in and named. So you can see some of that work that has been already done for the student.
So that automatic workflow between the teacher and the student, Google's already doing that for you. So that sharing back and forth, naming the document, all that stuff that you would have had to do before if you were just using Google Drive.
How about a door? I like that. All right, so as a student, I type my paragraph, and when I'm done, see how now there is a turn in because they created it through Google Classroom. I can go ahead and turn that into my teacher. So I'm going to go do that. And here, when you leave a comment, when a student leaves a comment, it does send the teacher an email that they've commented. So this, turn in. Okay, so that when a student leaves a comment, you will get an email. If you like to get emails when they turn it in, have them leave a comment. So now, as Joe, I have submitted. If I'm like, oh no, I didn't finish, I can unsubmit and then keep working on it and then submit it. Because once it's submitted, it's sent in to the teacher and I can't continue working on it. I don't have access.
It's the same as whenever a student turns in their paper to you. It's sitting in your inbox. It's sitting on your desk. The student would have to go to your desk to get it.
Okay, so that's a lot about the stream. I'm going to show one other thing, the announcements. I can or assignments, I can view all my assignments, and it's kind of like my to-do list for a student. It will show me for this class to do and what has been done. And to get back out of that, I'm going to come up here and click back on my class. Okay, so that's just a nice feature. And that is the stream. The next tab is the classmates. And when I click here, I can see all the other students. There is this mail icon. Currently, it is not working in all schools, and email is not set up. At some point, that may change this year, so we'll keep you abreast of that, or that's something to check, but they should not be able to email each other. So there's really not much they can do here. On the about, this is where the teacher, this doesn't change. It's not like a feed. So the teacher has left, the documents. And I see my two teachers. Rosie is dancing over here. Usually she's dancing. And one other important thing, this is the name of the Google Classroom, the folder in my drive. So what I can do, I'm going to show you this now. If I click on that folder, it takes me to my Google Drive, and every student, once they sign in to Google Classroom, will have this classroom folder. So they're always going to go to Google Classroom site, but this is kind of the back end side. When they click here, here's their class, and all their work is in here. So they have their work more of like a portfolio. It is there for them after this year.
So that way, if you were wondering, where is it keeping all of their work? It's not actually keeping it in Google Classroom. It's actually because Google Classroom is actually working with Google Drive. And so that way, if somebody says, where is it keeping it? It's keeping it in the Google Drive. So, and that's why some people get confused on how everything's working together.
Yeah, I think it makes it clear.
Yeah.
Good. So that was a lot about the student view. So now if you could take a minute and in the Q&A, type something you notice or wonder about the student view. Okay, great. So we had some good questions coming through, so I'm going to address those in a minute. But I just want to tell you what's next. The next thing you're going to be asked to do is post a difference that you notice between the student view and the teacher view, because we're going to jump over to that teacher view. And there were a couple of good questions, and they all have to do with the teacher view. So let me bring up my teacher view. So currently, as a teacher, when you're logged on, you have this RCSD bookmarks. Google Classroom is not here yet. We will add it in. You can just type classroom.google.com to get there. All right, it's going to take you to your home page. If you created a class last year, you'll see it. Sorry, I have a lot of classes. I don't want to overwhelm you. So let me go right in, and you can go right into your class. Okay, it's good to bookmark that classroom.google.com. Okay, so a couple questions. You created a class last year? Yes. If you go to, can you change it or get rid of it? If you go to the home, you'll be able to archive any classes from last year. And this is in the class, but it's right here on those three dots. And if you go back to your hot dogs, then you can come back to your class. So there's a couple ways to see it.
And what about organizing your assignments?
So the last one you put in is first. I think the best way to organize them is to number them. Do you have any other tips?
And what about whenever a student submits their assignment? Do they receive an email?
No. Right now they don't have the email, but they wouldn't receive an email. Once, if the email feature is turned on, they will get, when there's a new assignment, they will get an email, but currently it's not turned on for students.
Okay, so a best way for a student to know the status is in their, when they went to their hot dogs, in their to-do section and their done section.
Oh, correct. Do you want me to show that real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so right here in assignments, and if there's assignments coming up this week, it will be here. They can click here for view all. Also, if they go to their home, they can go to assignments. Here, these are coming up, and when I go over to done, I can see my graded assignments, and there is also a comment.
So that's how the student knows. You go in and check your done, and that's how a student knows what their grade is, if they need to resubmit or things like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Does a teacher have to create the classroom folder?
Oh, that classroom folder in the drive, good question. No, that is all automatically done. That's what's saving you so much time, is as a teacher, you don't have to, and you don't have to have your students create any of these folders. It is done automatically for you through Google Classroom. Okay, great questions. All right, let's jump in on the teacher side. This will go a little bit faster. We're going to go through again, starting at the top. My class name, just so you know, you can select a theme and change that theme for your students. You can also choose your own photo. And that helps students identify, quickly go to your class by your theme. And you know, also they love pictures of the new pictures, so uploading photos of your class would be really cool too. All right, so we're on the stream, and right at the top you will see this is where you create an announcement, and you just click on it and you can type your announcement. If you have a link to a web page, or if you have a YouTube video, you can put it here. If it's a video that's not on YouTube, you can attach here. What's nice also is this can go to one of your classes, or if you have the English, an ELA class, you could post it at the same time to multiple classes. What is really nice is, see this drop down? I can go ahead and post it, or on this drop down, I can save things as a draft. So that is new right at the end of the school year. So you can prep your announcement or assignments ahead. And right down here is the drafts. And if I click there, I can see when I'm ready, I can open them up and post them. Or I could have my co-teacher go in and preview the assignment. We can work together through those drafts. You can attach files. You can attach any documents from your Google Drive. Okay, so that's an announcement, how to post an announcement. The assignment is basically the same. You get to, again, you can number those assignments. And then you have an area for the description, the learning targets, and the steps. You have your due dates here. And then you can attach a video for them to work first, and then they will create a document. You can attach Word or PDF or Google Drive. Now, we'll talk more about that later. Okay, and again, you can assign or save it as a draft. So I'm going to scroll down. If you have students commenting and you don't like what they're saying, you can right from here, you can delete their comment, or you can mute a student. If you mute Joe's student, he will not be able to comment until you unmute him. So you can do that here, or we'll show you later how you could do the whole class in the Students tab. Okay, I'm going to come back up. And upcoming assignments. So just like the students have those upcoming assignments, the teacher also has that here. It only shows what's due this week. So if I have an assignment due next week, it's not going to show. But I can also come up to here, and there's an assignments, and I can click to see all of my assignments. And so again, it's like a to-do for the teacher, and then you can move them over to reviewed when you're done. Okay, let's jump over to the
You know, we just had a question that I don't know, maybe you covered, and maybe we just need to repeat. Is Google Classroom accessible from home?
oh, yes, that's the it's not only, it is available from home, anywhere with internet access. It is available from any smartphone. So a lot of our kids do not have internet, computers with internet at home, but they usually have access to an iPhone or some sort of smartphone. Okay, Droid or an Apple device. So yeah, the nice thing is you can get it from anywhere. All right, the next tab is the Students tab. You will see all the students here. There's a couple things here. This is, and again, this is gone through step by step in the online component. But there is a code here. If you are a high school teacher who has multiple classes, you are probably going to have your students, you're going to give them this code, and they're going to join your class by using the code. If you want to quickly invite one student, you can click here and search a student and invite them here, okay? You can also, we'll talk about it, this is how you would create a group and invite a group of students through your contacts. And that will be gone through. If you're an elementary teacher, a 6th grade teacher, and you see your students for science, math, and you want multiple Google Classrooms, you'll probably create a contact list and just invite them. And you might not even deal with the code. Okay? This is also a place, see how this checkbox is here? If I check that, and the actions is if I want to mute the whole class, they cannot leave comments. So you might want to start out that way. I mute them. And then once you're ready to have them comment on a video or a post, you can turn that on. Okay, also if a student leaves, you click here and under actions, you can remove them. Your choices are to have the students, they can only comment, or only the teacher can post or comment.
And you know, oftentimes we do have people ask about, should we do some pre-teaching, or should we do a lesson about appropriate commenting, or how we should comment in the classroom? And that's a very good type of lesson to use in the classroom, as you would with any type of teaching, any type of lesson. You know, what is best practice? What's appropriate type of commenting that you would approve in your classroom?
Yes, it will save you a lot. And then the last tab is the About tab. Here you saw that Rosie and I are both teachers in this class. This is very exciting for Google Classroom because it was right at the end of the last year. On this About page is where you can invite a teacher. So you can have multiple teachers in one of the Google Classroom classes. And I know that is a great feature. Again, here you can leave is the name of the class in your drive, and you can also add materials. So here there's some Google Classroom documents. You can leave attachments, things that you will need, students will have to go to multiple times during the year. It's kind of like it's always there for your class.
So are we able to, this was a question that just popped up. Can we create Google Classroom and have classes with other teachers?
Yes, good question. I'm going to click on My Hot Dogs, and I can see I am teaching these classes, and I am enrolled in these classes. So I can be a student and a teacher. So there are teachers that are using this for professional development. So maybe a grade level, they want to get used to Google Classroom, and it's a nice way to get all their materials together.
But a disclaimer we want to put out there is if a teacher, it's their first time going in to Google Classroom.
They should actually, Rosie, now this summer, they're all approved.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so when your students first go on, they have to choose their role.
Okay.
And in the past, teachers had to choose their role and get approved. But most of our teachers, Rosie and I worked on that, are now approved, so you'll be a teacher right away.
Okay. I just want to make sure teachers are in the teacher role.
Exactly. Okay, so once you're a teacher, you can still be a student, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead. That was a pretty thorough overview of the student or the teacher view. So can you post a difference you see between the student and the teacher view? Something you notice. And I'm going to stop talking for a minute while you do that. All right, we're good. We got some good comments. Rosie, was there something we should discuss quick?
Yes. There was a question on how can we organize our files into units, like if you're doing different units or different documents. And so that was something Larissa and I just talked about. So one of the ideas that Larissa had talked about previously was to make sure that you number your assignments because it's an easy organizational tool. And when this question popped up about how can we organize them by their units, we were thinking to possibly, whenever you are naming your assignment, to put that some sort of maybe the unit name into your assignment title. So that way it would help in the search because it's inside the Google Drive, and that would help it search and find it. And then someone had noticed that only the teachers had their pictures, and maybe and they were wondering how come the students didn't. And that is in the settings. So whenever you go in and you go to your hot dogs, and teachers and students can do this. It's down here. And you go down to your settings at the bottom, and you click on that change profile picture. That's whenever you get into that, and that's whenever you can change that profile picture. And that is something that we go over in the intermediate class, but that just quickly shows you how the students and teachers can do that.
And oh, then it might stay, because I think if they change on a Chromebook their picture, it reverts back.
Okay.
So that might be a good way to do it from Google Classroom.
But several people noticed that teachers can see all the grades. They noticed that they can see the comments. Let's see. We answered the one about creating the classroom for the teachers.
Okay, so I'm going to go in, and I think this will answer a few of the other questions. Rosie, let's go, and I'm in as a teacher and look at the assignment that was submitted by the student.
Okay.
And then I think that will clear up some of the other questions. So I see in my stream as a teacher that 1 person is done and 9 not done. So at any time I can click on the assignment and I can see who has turned it in. I can see Joe student turned it in. And if I click on his name, I can see the file that he turned in. Now he could have attached a file. This was one that he created. If I click on it and open I am now looking at his document. You can leave comments within the document. So a lot of teachers are working on the editing and leaving comments. So you can highlight and leave a comment. Okay, so you can leave a comment for the student in multiple places. And then when you're done, you come back and you can grade the student here. Now, we chose the points before. You can change the points. I know a lot of teachers don't do everything out of 100, and you can choose one of these, or you can choose, like, if you're working off a 4-point rubric, and it will update the assignment. Now I can click, and I'm going to give Joe a 0 because he really hasn't done anything, and leave a comment. Please complete. Submit. And I'm going to post that. Now you can see that once I put the grade in, it automatically checked this. And when I need to return it to the student, so I have the assignment, and just like a paper and pencil, like a paper copy, I need to return it. So I need to return this assignment to the student. And now Joe will be able to open, he will have access to open that document, to make changes, and yes, he can resubmit it, okay? He can't work on it until I return it to him. So he turns it in and I return it to him. Wasn't that cool? So what a lot of teachers are saying is they are so up on their grading with Google Classroom. It is so easy to see when people turn in, quickly click on it, leave some comments, grade it, and be done. It's a really nice feature because that's something a lot of teachers, myself included, that you never have time to keep up on your grading.
So if there's 2 teachers or multiple teachers in the classroom, they could all get in there at the same time and be working on it and seeing all the students' work?
Yeah, they can, if they're both, I don't know if they can both be looking at a document. I'm assuming one would have to grade it.
Okay.
But they can, one can grade one can grade another. So it's nice to, that one teacher doesn't have to do all the grading.
Okay, that's nice. Now, because somebody asked a question about having multiple teachers. So they all have access to everything inside the class?
Yes, it's not like a lot of things in our district. Those co-teachers have full access, and I just don't think they can delete the class, but they
Okay.
can do everything else.
Okay.
Now, I want to show you one other assignment while we're here, and actually I have a picture of it here. One thing that we do want to stress about a Google Classroom assignment, if you attach a Word document or PDF, students cannot type through Google Classroom in the Google environment on a Word doc or a PDF, okay? We go over this in the Google Classroom Intermediate, and all the assignments are with attachments. But we want to really make sure that you know that they're not going to be able to type in it. We suggest for this class that you don't even put an attachment, but you can, it's fine. You can attach a Word or PDF for the students to view, or if you want them to be able to type in it, it has to be a Google Doc, okay? So you would create it in your Drive and attach it through the Drive. So here is an example of that. It is a Google Doc that has been attached. And if it is a Google Doc, each student gets a copy. The student will be able to type in it. We're suggesting not even dealing with this for your first assignments, but some people will want to, and that's fine. But just make sure that you understand that. Okay, we talked about the app. So if you have your iPhone, I know some of you are downloading Google Classroom right now. Also download Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Slides, the whole Google suite, and then you'll be able to open Google Docs on your phone, open Google Classroom. It's pretty sweet, and they keep doing updates, and it gets better and better.
Because that way, you want to get that Google Docs, because that way if your student has turned in a Google Doc, that way you can open it on your iPhone or open it on your iPad. That way you can give them the feedback, you can make comments, you can immediately turn it back in. And then on the iPad or on the iPhone, if you want to take a picture and put it right into your Google Classroom, you're able to do that. I mean, there's so many extra features that you can do with the app that you're not actually able to do on your laptop. It just makes it,
it's so easy.
oh, it's
Yeah.
so easy. And then your students will be showing you so many of the nice features.
Okay, so just to wrap up, we talked about you can use the Google environment. You can, for any grade, use the Drive, Google Docs. It's a good way to get started. Students can get started on their own. So that's one choice. The second choice was obviously Google Classroom, and we suggest that for 3 through 12. There's minimal setup. And once you start really using your Google Docs, it's, doing all that naming and putting them in that classroom folder. So it's really nice. It's doing all that sharing that we talked about. The other choice is to use e-learning, and this is a suggested grade 7 through 12. So this is also a good choice, and more of a robust learning management system. So we have, you can use Google Classroom, e-learning. Both, you can use the Drive. Some things for e-learning, you can customize your course more. You can arrange your content, assessments. So there's a little more, there are more features using e-learning. The only thing e-learning doesn't have is a Suite app. So that is one difference. But there is a lot of customizing you can do. Okay, so we have gone through everything that we had planned. Thank you. If you could just post one thing you learned or one question you have as your ticket out the door, we'll be we'll let you go on your merry way. This was 1 hour component, and we really thank you guys for taking your time. And I know there was quite an active, you guys kept Rosie really busy over there on the discussion board. So we really like that you have, yeah, you can listen to me talk, but you have that discussion going. So go ahead and post to the your ticket out the door. And then we will see you online, because the rest of the components for the next, you have till next Wednesday to complete the online component, creating your class, creating an assignment, inviting students. Okay, so we're here. Go ahead and post, and then enjoy your day.
And we will see you online.
All right, sounds good. We had someone comment that if you attach a Word document, they won't be able to write in it. But is there a way to convert a Word document into a Google Doc? Yes, there is, and we have a video showing that. That is also what is done in the intermediate class. So that would be a good thing to take the intermediate class. But at the bottom of the assignment, the task in the class, there is a video going over how you can convert a Word doc into a Google Doc. just coming on one last time, we will post probably tomorrow this video, the webinar in the class, so you can refer to it in that task 2. And we will also make sure you can see the discussion board. All right, have a great day. Thanks.